It's like a frustrating thing too, getting low damage off of some options that are good, that are legitimately like good options. They don't lead to that much, right?
Exactly.
So like, how often can you keep choosing like the right option? Eventually, they're gonna catch on, or like, you know, you can't always be right. Like it's hard, you know. That you
My man's just spitting. We just finished this video, bro. Honestly.
Are you some scrub who can't handle plus frames? Do you cry every night at the thought of Happy Chaos shooting you full screen? Do you think Woust loused, even though louse just Faust? Well, do I have the offer for you? Tell him, Lord Knight.
What?
Subscribe to the Beast Coast FGC channel today.
What's going on, everybody? LK here today with Lord ApologyMan, and with the recent whispers of Season 2, the official announcement, they also mentioned a big old balance patch. So we figured, why not talk about my dream buffs for Milia? So this is a character that I played for a long time in Guilty Gear. Played her since Exert Sign 1.0. So I've seen her as a super good character, and I've seen her down in the dumps in Rev 2.0. If someone says she's okay in the comments, I'm gonna fucking get mad. You can't tell me she was okay. This version is not the best version of Milia, but it's not the worst version of Milia, to be honest. But I do think she needs some help. So I'm just gonna share some things that I think that she needs. And in case I say something out of pocket, ApologyMan is here to keep me in check. But
Yeah.
what do you think Milia needs first, as someone who doesn't play her?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of my Milia knowledge is just from like talking to you and playing you, because the character is like pretty uncommon, honestly. But I know you more than any player have the most not hopium is the right word, but you have the most faith in the character. Like you never really downplay her, or like compared to like a lot of other people think she's like really bad, no damage, not enough reward, blah blah blah, all like the whatever like stuff that you hear to complain about her a lot. But I would say like the main things that I'd want for her, when she lands Capel, right, like as like a counter hit for like anti-air, you like get shot backwards and stuff. Like it's like really janky. I'm like, oh, was that like a losing interaction? I don't really know. Like it was really, I think if like Capel hits you, it should probably hit like better, maybe get you a knockdown or something like that. I think that would be pretty good. Like for sure, I think if you do the TK Bad Moon I think it should give you like a knockdown. Like it's like pretty risky to do without meter as it is, and it doesn't have it that much damage. So the fact that like when you do it mid screen, you don't even get like another meaty afterwards is kind of, that's like, come on, that's not fair. Let her have that, you know. But not for combos. Like if it only TK. But if you did like for combos, it shouldn't give you a hard knockdown, obviously, because that'd be broken. But yeah, I don't know, just like a couple quality of life things I think would be good for her. But I don't know, like what do you think are like, I think there's probably some bigger overarching things she probably needs. My
man's just spitting. We just finished this video, bro. Honestly, yeah, you're the expert. Apparently, I should talk about what Faust needs, I think, or something.
Oh, for real? Yeah.
No, but on a serious note, like, yeah. So basically, like, her issue is not that she doesn't have good tools, is that she doesn't get enough return off them. So like the Bad Moon example you use is a really good example. So like she's like minus 20 something on block, right? If you hit it, you get a soft down. So the soft down is like plus 14, which sounds nice, but it's a soft down, so they're gonna roll away. And they roll away pretty far, and there's quite a bit of risk for using it, right? Like if someone blocks that and they play like, let's say, we don't have to use like a top tier character. If like Axel blocks it, you know, like he will do a good amount of damage, just as a pretty good amount of damage to you, right? There are other examples of moves like this in the game. So like the easy ones to point to would be command grabs. If a command grab whiffs, dead. If you command grab them, they're dead. Right? So Potemkin, Pop Buster, you take mad damage. Garuda, you escape somehow, he takes mad damage, right? The thing is, Bad Moon, you don't do any damage, you don't really get any Oki, you hit them, it's cool, right? Like it's cool. But then if they block it, you die. So it's like all the risk is on you. And the only way like you could like justify it is that it's airtight, because usually you're doing a Coast Slash. So it's off at attack level 3. Bad Moon is so fast that you can make the Bad Moon airtight. So you can say, well, the opponent can't just stop you from doing Bad Moon, which is very fair. That's why I think this move is kind of hard to balance in the scope of this game, because it's really fair to say that, like, let's say they just make a hard knockdown, you get H disc. If it was her current version, she wouldn't like win the game from it, but like she would get a really good situation from it, right? So like saying it would be nice if TK Bad Moon, for example, specifically like a Rising Bad Moon, gave her a hard knockdown that gave her H disc in her current version, I think would be decently fair because she can't repeat that situation. As opposed to, because the wording's important, right? A low to the ground Bad Moon leading into hard knockdown, because then what happens is all of a sudden H disc, everything's H disc all the time.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I think it's really tricky to balance that type of. If they left Bad Moon the same and like changed something else, I actually would be pretty cool with it, right? So for example, like if they buffed S disc, so and again, she has a bunch of moves like this where like S disc is a good move. It crushes lows. She's airborne. It's really safe from max range. It's like -5 max range. People who don't play her might not know, but they have. I hate this term "burf" that people try to use all the time, but like it's they keep buffing and nerfing Milia, right? So like S disc used to be like not very fast. It's still relatively fast. I think it was like 14-ish frame, 14 to 15 frames when the game came out. But at max range, you were like +2 at max range, and because the disc traveled slowly, you had the S disc cross up that everyone was like, "Oh, attack!" Okay, it was cool though.
You hit me with that.
Then they made S disc a little bit faster, like the move travel a little bit faster, but have the same total duration. So it's a little bit less advantage. You could still do the S disc cross up. It was really hard. In this version, she basically can't do it, and it's really fast though. The traveling disc is really fast, but then like it's -5 from max range, but it crushes lows, which is pretty good. But when you hit them, since it's a projectile on counter hit, you don't get anything. And if they jump over you, you die. Right, and then if this is the issue with the risk return, right? So for a character like, let's say you're fighting Geo, if Geo hits that sweep, you die, like you're just dead, right? If Geo jumps over the S disc, you're also dead. If you hit her, you use the move correctly, but there's no deterrent without meter, and Milia still has her legacy bad system things like low health, bad meter gain, bad risk gauge, which is all fine because of the way she plays and all of her advantages. Right, I just would like them to give not even more incentive to use the move, because the move has the properties that it needs to make me want to use the moves. It needs to deter the opponent a little bit more, because I don't feel that my opponents because some people have straight up tell me like, I don't give a fuck about getting hit by that shit, bro, I'm coming at you, or they just do it in their play. Like they don't feel the impact of me selecting correctly against them unless I have resource, and it's hard for her to get resource. That's basically what I would want. So between like Capel and S disc, just either leading into a throwish style hard knockdown that like she could mix up off of, like hair car or throw, or maybe having like a special counter hit state where she could get a short combo or something to make people care about getting hit by the moves, because she has to use the moves, but they don't get any return when you do them. That would be the summary of what I'd want. They don't have to do it to every single thing. So like, let's say you pick Bad Moon, S disc, and like Capel as like their 3. If they do it to all 3, she's ridiculous, and I don't need her to be like ridiculous, really. I just think they just need to like, in my opinion, the one I'd want the most probably Capel, I think, because it would reflect older versions of Milia's more, like getting return for hitting an anti-anti-air, or at least getting like some type of like threatening situation because you tried to anti-air in a spot where you knew Capel could come but you got hit by it. Would probably be the way I'd want to go.
For sure, yeah. I think deterring the opponent is definitely something I can empathize with. As Faust, like, yeah, it's hard to deter someone when your ward isn't there. It's like a frustrating thing too, like playing a character, like getting low damage off of some options that are good, that are legitimately like good options, but the good options, like, they don't have as much meaning if they don't lead to that much, right?
Exactly.
So like, how often can you keep choosing like the right option? Eventually, you know, they're gonna catch on, or like, you know, you can't always be right. Like it's hard, you know. And that's when the risk reward gets kind of crappy. And like, you know, Millia, like when it comes to risk reward, like if you hit her, like it's over, right? Like so if her reward isn't like deterring the opponent from doing stuff like that, I think that's kind of where the character has like a lot of flaws, and the instability starts to show a bit. And yeah, I think those changes would definitely be good for her. I'm with you.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. I don't give a fuck.
Nah.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you think LK was maybe asking for a little too much. I think it's fair, personally. But let me know your thoughts about Millia buffs in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.